Welcome to Energy Stew. This is Peter Roth, your host. And I'd like to ask you, how often do you channel? Are you a channeler? Maybe in ways you don't even know. And some people are out there publicly channeling and helping so many people through doing that work. And so I'm again ready to interview our guest who has been on the show before. She's a wonderful channeler and a wonderful person too. So glad to
Thank you, Peter.
that Anjie Hipple is a friend. Anjie, welcome back to Energy Stew.
Hello, dear Peter. It's so good to be back with you. It's so great to have this excuse to develop a friendship with you and to get to know your audience. We're really glad to be here.
Oh, thanks so much. I'm so familiar with the Judah group. I call them the group. They go by collective or whatever, and you're known through the Judah channel.
Yes.
It's a website, Judah channel.
Yep, thejudahchannel.com and the Judah channel on YouTube. And we have a really lovely, warm, safe family on YouTube. And we channel live every Sunday night. I think the most exciting thing that we do is free for the whole world, and it's on Sunday night on YouTube, the Judah family. And we get together at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can watch it later if you miss it. And there's a bunch of us. Oh, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000, depends on the night. We get together from all over the world, and everybody gets to chat and make friends from everywhere. And we do a live thing, and it's a group consciousness, that's forming. It's just a very loving family of really high vibe people, and it's been a good landing spot for people that feel kind of lonely or disconnected, or maybe in their day-to-day life they don't know anybody that's kind of weird and woo-woo like they are. And
That's so true. And I find that
yes,
I'm also an anchor for so many people who
yeah.
differently and are so glad to know me, who's out of the box also.
Oh yeah, yeah. Isn't it great? It's sweet to find somebody that you have kindred spirit with, and just to take the edge off some of that loneliness and feel connected. And we wish we could always do it face to face and skin to skin, heart to heart, but it doesn't always work out that way. So this is a really good second choice. And Judah's assured us that they absolutely come into the room with people when they sign on, and they're with us together, and are present there with them. And there is a connection that's beyond what we can see.
But also what's interesting is that the Judah group is very large. they
Yeah.
they don't need to look for participants to support each person who comes to your group, because there's over, I don't know, 300,000 of them.
Yeah, about 350,000 angelic souls, and they've described themselves as from Sirius A, and they are like a feline, a humanoid type race. So one of the ways that you could think of them, if you come from a Hebraic um, or a Judeo-Christian tradition, it says that Ezekiel saw this lion, this man with the face or the head of a lion. So that's who Judah is, or kind of how they appear in their
Wow.
etheric body.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
And once or twice when I've channeled them, it's been kind of funny, because I started kind of snorting and pawing and breathing like a lion. That was really strange. But I actually felt this presence of this lion. It was pretty incredible.
It is. But what also is that you're not only someone who's here for them, you also are channeling intelligences from other constellations.
Yes, the Pleiadians and Arcturians. We also have a being from Sirius B, who's a water being, a beautiful being that we channel. But the they've explained to us that there's about, well, there's dozens that I've channeled. We get visits from all kinds of people, but there's 5 that primary beings that we work with, and they've formed, their explanation is that they're a team of these 5 entities that have come together from these different races as representatives of the Galactic Federation. And so they come and they work with me kind of like a little specialist team from the Federation. And that's Zed, who's a tall gray, and Abby from Sirius B, the Pleiadian sisters, which are like a trinity, like a Father, Son, Holy Spirit kind of trinity. They're from 3 different of the Pleiadian stars, but they work together as one voice. And then Lars of Arcturus, who's explained that he's the commander of the moon base, the Arcturian moon base.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, he's a pretty authoritarian guy. He's a little scary sometimes. Very loving, but a little scary too.
All right, takes all kinds.
Yeah, we need them all.
All right. So let's enjoy some input from the
Yeah,
group.
yeah. We'll just open it up for anybody that's of a
Okay.
very high loving vibration, that has our very best interest at heart, that's representative of source and divine love. And yes. Hello, dear Peter and your beautiful audience. We are Judah. We are very pleased to be here and thankful for the opportunity and the platform. And we just want to give your platform a big kiss from heaven and thanks and gratitude. We are here to serve you. We are happy to answer any questions that you have for us.
Oh my gosh. What an opportunity. So this planet is in chaos right now, and there's wars going on, and people don't know what to make of it, and people are afraid of our future. How do you see the future?
Well, we can tell you that the future is bright. Now, we don't say this in a Pollyanna sort of naive or childlike way. We will simply tell you that everything is evolving back into source and unity and oneness with source. And so allow the chaos, just as you would a summer storm that bursts upon you when you're, let's say, visiting the beach on a lovely day. And you don't fret or worry about it. You simply pack your things up and go inside for a bit. And when the storm has cleared, you come back out then and enjoy the sun that is emerging and the beauty of the beach. And you feel the freshness of the air and the atmosphere from the storm which has passed. You see. And so we don't consider anything going on the earth as tragic. Yes, are there tragic events? Are there people being hurt or harmed? Is there trauma? Yes, this trauma is caused by the unconsciousness of humanity. It is not caused by Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, or any other entities from beyond. There are our entities from beyond that like to influence, or we would say take advantage of the unconsciousness of humanity. So are there tragic events? Yes. Is there chaos? Yes. But understand that this chaos will absolutely, definitively yield to God, to all that is, to universal consciousness. And all things will in due time evolve back into this state of oneness. So we would say, to the degree that you are that it is possible for you to, within the degree of light and illumination that you have, extract yourself from the chaos.
But what about
Wherever
the grief
possible.
that we have about the people who are being harmed, and some are so tragic? And
Yes, well,
even when it clears, I think we'll still be in grief.
yes, well, we will say this, that it is always appropriate to feel your feelings. It is always appropriate to feel your feelings. Feelings are neither right nor wrong. They are what they are. And every feeling across the spectrum is acceptable. We would say, however, be mindful that you, as you watch and perceive various tragedies and difficulties going on, if you lend your attention to those things for a period of time, you will be sucked into the energy, the vortex of it, like being caught in a tornado, we would say. If there was a tornado coming across your landscape, you could see it very plainly with your eyes. What would you do? You wouldn't walk towards it. You would simply go underground into a safe place and allow it to pass. And so we would say, do you feel compassion for your fellow humankind that are suffering at this time? Of course you do. Feel your grief, feel whatever you are feeling. But can you? We encourage you to consider, because what the ego mind, especially the larger and conscious collective ego mind, wants to do is to suck you into the vortex of chaos and difficulty. And we would say you can't be of assistance to anyone by allowing your own personal energy to be caught into that, you see. That will only make you a casualty like your precious brothers and sisters. And that's not helpful in any way. You see, your attention is your energy is your attention, and energy is everything. And so if there are things happening in the earth which are tragic, if these are energies that you wish to undo, that you wish to see, like a tornado that spins out and then disappears, where does the tornado go? Where does it go when it disseminates, when it's finished, when it is over? Well, it disappears from existence. And so if you want to see these chaotic, larger unconsciousness events diminish and disappear, don't add your energy to them, and don't allow yourself to get caught in the storm. Hide yourself in meditation. Now, we're not saying stick your head in the sand. We're saying hide yourself in peace and meditation. Hide yourself in centeredness. Hide yourself in God, in all that is, in higher consciousness. Elevate your consciousness as high as you can, and know that in the doing of this, you have aided your brother and sister. You see, for it is said of heaven in the ancient scriptures that there all tears will be wiped from every eye. It is said that God, that all that is, will wipe every tear of grief, of sorrow from every eye. So we would encourage you to enter this state of consciousness now, here. Heaven is not someplace far away. Heaven resides right in your heart. In your heart, you are heaven. You are the temple. You are the sacred. You are the house for all that is divine. So enter deeply into your higher state of heaven in the heart, and there allow all that is to dry every tear from your eye, to literally weep your tears and feel the hand of God wiping them and kissing your precious eyes.
Can I ask something?
Please, yes.
I believe that everything is in divine order, and
Absolutely.
yet we see, such tragic harm happening to innocent people. And how, please explain the divine order of lives being cut short in horrible ways, and understand the nature and the purpose of that, so we can hold it better.
Well, we can say that there are these, every precious soul has determined the date, the time, and the manner in which they will cross over before they enter this existence. And they have also planned various points of exit that they might take, as you would say, an escape hatch in the event that they are being blocked from achieving the purpose for which they have come. So understand that each one, they may not in a human context be conscious of why they are in a war zone, or why they have left the body in a particular way or manner, but we assure you their soul is absolutely conscious of the choice and of what is being happened. So in this manner, understand that no death is an accident or tragedy. Every death is planned. It is planned by the soul. It is planned by a higher consciousness.
And I think there's a greater purpose for each of those to represent the toxicity, for instance, of this world that we have to then erase and move forward in greater peace.
We agree, and we would say that there are some souls who have come into this incarnation and have even agreed prior to their birth to be in war zones or to experience tragic deaths, and they are, we would call them sacrificial lambs. And they've come in knowing this, and part of the reason for which they have signed up for this sacrificial lamb duty service to earth, to consciousness, is because they want to help the larger consciousness of humanity to finally spend their negative energies of hatred. You see, to spend it all. You see, there are, we would say, energetic accounts, and humanity as a whole has accounts of hatred and fear and war mongering and so on, and then they have accounts of love and joy and peace and charity and high consciousness. And so there are some who are literally giving their lives in order that humanity might finally drain and empty out these energetic accounts of war and hatred. You see, there will be a time, we've spoken of this in other channels, in which that the idea of war will seem ludicrous to earth children. There will be elders who will recount to them that there were times of war upon the earth, and children will find this hard to fathom, you see, because war will then become an ancient memory.
I love that. It's so beautiful to hear this. It's all such profound information. Now I have another, changing the subject, I have another interest, and that's that so many people are frustrated that consciousness hasn't risen that far yet and feel like, oh, it'll never come, or it's decades away, or, you know, it's not going to be in my lifetime, people say. And I don't feel that way. And yet the signs of this kind of high consciousness where we find greater peace is, doesn't seem to be happening so fast.
Well, we would say that this is an expression of a limitation of human thinking. We most certainly see everything as right on time, and the evolution of consciousness is happening at the speed and within a space and time in which it can be maintained and sustained for, you see, even on a personal level, one might press or have an intensity towards becoming, realizing or remembering, we will say, their enlightened state. And there are times when it is a little bit much for them. It is like trying to teach a 2-year-old to ride a bike with no training wheels. You see, there's no sense in that whatsoever. It's a waste of time and energy. And so we say everything is right on time. And those who have we would say, a false belief system that it's not happening fast enough, it is likely because they are listening to and viewing the wrong things. And if they would give their attention to, let's say, podcasts such as this one and other materials that are synchronistically appearing before their eyes, they will find that there is a huge expansion of consciousness. This vessel every week works with people who astound her. They come for appointments with us, and they are literally teetering on the brink of enlightenment, of high consciousness. Some of them have just squarely put their foot upon the first rung of enlightenment, rung on the ladder of enlightenment, and they're quite stable and they are proceeding forward. And so we would say, don't be discouraged, because there are amazing humans all over this planet who maybe have not been given a megaphone or a platform such as this, but they are there nonetheless. Some of them are picking up your trash on Monday morning. Some of them are cleaning your toilets. Some of them are judges sitting behind a judge's bench. Many of them are school teachers teaching the young. You see, they're everywhere. And they are growing exponentially because of outlets such as yours and outlets such as this vessel is providing. They are being given information, sometimes just a line or a word or a thought that is freeing them from ego constructs of the mind and illuminating their process.
It's wonderful. It's and yet a lot of us feel there's going to be some event at some point which will be more like a lightning bolt of this happening.
Well, we love this thought, and we would say, if you like it, if you like this thought, if you'd like to see some event like that, you may certainly give your attention and your intention in meditation towards that. And we will say that there is certainly a coming, a resurrection for the unawakened. There will be, yes, there will be, with the manifestation of extraterrestrials in a more visible, physically visible and 3D materially substantial form, a radical awakening. Now, this will be very frightening for many people. We would say religious indoctrination and mindsets for these in particular, these, we will say, very precious ones, this sort of visibility of interdimensional beings will upset everything that they know life and reality to be between their two ears. So there will need to be a lot of love and a lot of patience. We are particularly looking for persons who will create on-ramps for people to get out of thinking that is not serving them, but help them to do it in a way that is gentle, that is accepting, that is loving, that is that is understanding of the difficulty of such a drastic change.
And yet I like the word loving, because that will be much easier to hold as we rise in consciousness.
Yes, for we would say, you see, there are many who will, as we said, when they see these beings with their physical eyes, and you see, they come from subcultures in religion and politics, and subcultures within various nations and so on, and their world will be completely turned upside down. And so they will not understand the semantics of much of what is current in spiritual circles. It will be like it is now and will be at that time like another language in and of itself. So we would caution people in spiritual circles from having language that is exclusive to spiritual pursuits and communities, that unintentionally excludes others that are not within those circles, other unawakened people. And so we would say, in response to your comment about being loving, a loving word, a loving touch, a loving hug that communicates divine, white light, loving energy can be of a profound assistance to anyone, and it requires no prohibitive language to be
I
felt
love all
and
this.
experienced.
This is so clear and helpful, and I love hearing it. It's just, it's going to make it so much easier for us to comprehend how it will work.
Well, we're very grateful for your receptivity. And so for anyone who feels compassion for another, perhaps an unawakened one, or one that is stuck in lower realms of consciousness, powerlessness, fear, sadness, grief, despair, whatever the case may be, whether it's your waitress or your delivery man or your mailman or whoever it might be, remember, you can look in the eyes and communicate divine love, which is a tangible, visible, visceral energy which can profoundly impact the other. Look in their eyes, a loving word, a loving touch, a hug if you feel so compelled. We would say there are some who can be instantly awakened from unconsciousness with a loving hug
I love
from an
that.
enlightened person.
I love that. We're getting near the end of the show. And Judah Group, thank you so much. You've been incredible, so profound. I just love all of your words. And thank you so much for being here. And can we speak with Anjie?
Yes, yes. Thank you for hosting us. We are thankful. Oh, that was a lot of fun, Peter. Wow.
Well, we got into some really deep stuff. And
Wow. They really
so,
like you. They bring their A game for you, Peter.
well, thank you. I mean, I don't know how to relate to that because I'm not used to what their B game is. So this is cool. And oh my gosh. And they are so
I want to go back and listen.
good.
Listen and
Yeah,
learn and take notes.
yeah, because I think what they talked about were essential answers to things that right now that so many people need to hear.
Yeah, and I appreciate you asking about the war because we've been getting a lot of questions about that over here. So I appreciate that.
Right, and the way we approach it, because I come up, then bringing, divine order into it, I think was really a good way for them to help us, understand soul paths and soul purposes.
Yes.
So we covered the ground.
Wow. Yeah. We're blazing over the ground.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did. They did. Yeah.
So thanks
It was
so
great.
much. And again, one last reminder of how people find you.
Sure. We're at thejudahchannel.com and we're the Judah Channel on YouTube, which is a really fun place to get to know us. We've got hundreds of hours of free channels from Judah, from the Arcturians and Pleiadians. We have very specific light language transmissions that you can find there for any particular issue that's troubling you or places where you feel stuck. We also have a fantastic self-study course that you can do with 10 weeks of really in-depth work with Judah for raising your consciousness. Judah assured us that it's a path to enlightenment. So if you're feeling stuck in any way and really wanting to raise your consciousness, I encourage you to sign up for that.
That's very promising. So Anjie Hipple, it's so much fun to talk with you and
Thank you,
your
Peter.
friends.
Thank you.
And thanks for being on Energy Stew. I'm so happy to know you.
Oh, me too. It's a joy. Thank you, Peter.
And this is Peter Roth, your host of Energy Stew at prn.live. I can be reached at peter@heartriver, HEART river.org. I'd love to hear from you, and thanks so much for listening.